Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. I got it right. This week and this month, as you all know, we are doing Horror Movie Month for October. This episode is no different. We are reviewing the horror movie The Gate, 1987. One hot mess of a movie, and we'll get into that here in a second. Totally your fault, by the way.
I take full responsibility for this.
You've blamed me for movies that we've reviewed.
I blamed you for most things that have gone wrong in my life, but this one is 100% my fault.
But this is a movie that when we talked about it, you brought it up with great esteem.
Oh, pure joy was radiating from me to revisit this movie.
Yes.
I loved this movie as a child.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. It came out in 87. I haven't seen it since probably about 89. And that's being generous. Yeah. So I don't know what happened over the years, but I didn't think this movie was a giant piece of crap when I was, 12. But apparently, 30 years later, it's a giant turd. So
yeah, 30 years later, you'll learn that The Gate sucks, Ewoks are trash.
But before we get into the movie, let's do we have any advertisers this week?
We do.
All right, go ahead.
We are sponsored by the Rural Florida Tourism Department. Are you sick and tired of that same old humdrum vacation to island paradises? If you answered yes, rural Florida has just the vacation for you. You'll start your trip somewhere in rural Florida. Where, you ask? We don't even know. What we do know is this promises to be the road trip of your life. You'll discover old abandoned churches, find local dining, and people who seem way too interested in you. You'll have interesting conversations with psychics, ladies who have way too many cats, and local law enforcement officials. Speaking of the police, have you ever wanted to lead a police investigation? Boom! You are now the lead detective. Last question. Have you ever wanted to see an ancient apex predator feed? You're in luck. Just turn on your radio and listen for the classic 1938 banger, Jeepers Creepers. When you do, get ready to see some shit. Rural Florida. It's not just for serial killers anymore.
Outstanding. I love it. Let's get right into this because I want to get this over as quick as possible.
Yes.
The Gate, and since this was your doing, I will let you begin the review of the movie.
I feel like this is how Michael Jordan led the Bulls in the 90s. Like, if you messed up, he just went, deal with it. I'm not. The Gate, 1987. IMDb one-sentence description. Kids left home alone accidentally unleash a horde of malevolent demons from a mysterious hole in their suburban backyard.
A horde of malevolent demons. How about, I don't know, a horde of pound puppies? Because
I think they would be scarier, for sure.
Starting with the horde of malevolent demons that were horrible claymation,
yes,
4 inches tall. Let's call it 6 inches because they were about calf high on the kids.
Let's call it 6 inches because we always exaggerate.
Exactly. So yeah, the demons are terrible. It basically looks like I don't even know, like Ewoks with the mange would look scarier than these creatures, and it just, I don't know, the whole weight of the movie and what the movie's about screams like, okay, this is basically a gateway to hell, and these demons are coming out, and they're going to take over the world if, you know, a couple of things are met. You know, you get the sacrifices and yada yada yada.
Yep.
And then you see the demons. Like the thought of the demons and the noises and the bugs,
Yep.
way scarier than when you actually get the payoff of seeing the demons. When you see the demons, you're like, oh, that's it? Like, get your fucking lawnmower. Like, just run over these fuckers and you're good. You saved the day.
Yeah, the overall consequences of this movie don't seem very high. The stakes are not that great. Because,
No.
like you said, you imagine, okay, I'm opening a gate to hell. This is not good. Demons are going to come out all over the world. If that's what those demons are, these little 6-inch motherfuckers running around trying to bite you on your ankles, I'm cool.
Exactly.
I'm cool. If that's the worst hell has to offer, I think I'm ready for that challenge.
Hell,
Bring it on.
the gate is basically introducing hell as like run by the Gorgs from Toy Soldiers. Like that's that's what hell is. And you know what? Not that bad. Not that bad.
No. It's the stakes were higher in the Fred Savage, Howie Mandel classic Little Monsters than they were during the gate.
Very true. Very true.
That's just me. And I guess we kind of went ahead because again, the demons don't show up until really towards the end, last 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Of a movie that's 85 minutes long. So I guess you get them for a while, but really it all starts spiraling very quickly. The main problem with this movie, other than the plot, is the fact that little Stephen Dorff is our main character.
Yes.
And that's not his character's name. I forget his character's name. But
he plays Glenn.
Yeah, we'll call him little Stephen Dorff. So little Stephen Dorff has a best friend whose name is Terry.
Who's a psychopath.
Psychopath, brother. He is Jeffrey Dahmer, Michael Myers, John Wayne Gacy. He is in training.
Well, his mom died, so...
Yeah, because she's Eileen Wuornos. She got electrocuted. And his dad's never around because he's BTK. He's running around murking motherfuckers in Oklahoma. Terry, throughout this movie, he's torturing animals. He puts, like, the moths. All these moths are flying around. As, like, one of the big warning signs that you've opened the gate. Which, by the way, side note, moths, not that scary. What are they going to do, eat your fucking clothes? Why is a moth scary? Of all the insects you could choose to come out of hell, a moth isn't one. I'll just build a cedar chest and I'm totally protected. Done. But anyway.
I'll get some mothballs and just put them around the house.
Yeah. Easy. But Terry collects these moths in a jar, and little Stephen Dorff says, hey, poke some holes in there so they can breathe. And he goes, no, this is cooler. You're suffocating bugs. And then about, 5-10 minutes later, Terry's spending the night at little Stephen Dorff's house. Kills their dog. Because he's having a kooky flashback about his mom.
A kooky flashback.
NBD. We're good. Moving on. That little fucker is a serial killer in training. And he's the only reason they know that they opened the gate because he's listening to fucking devil music.
Yeah. Well,
that's like this isn't music kind of Pappy going off on modern culture. He's like, the music is literally instructions on how to open and close the gate to hell.
It's not music. It's a narration of how to open the gates to hell. And if you play it backwards, they tell you how to close it. That's not how backmasking works, just to throw it out there. But anyway.
Open the gate, close the gate. Yeah, that's not how it works.
But no, like his whole thing, and this is the problem I had. Yeah, he kills the dog, cool. He wants to suffocate moths, fine. My biggest problem is Does this kid go to the bathroom before he goes to bed? Because he has the weakest bladder. Like when all the shit's going down, he's always in the bathroom taking a leak or a dump.
Yes.
I don't know. They don't really specify. But
No.
he's got some bathroom issues that only like a 58-year-old man has, where you're waking up at 3 in the morning to take 10 pisses. Like,
Hey, I have that.
he needs to get his prostate checked because
Matter of fact, you talking about having to pee is making me pee. I'm peeing right now.
10-year-old Terry has a prostate problem. He's got to pee 7 times a night. But like
Gosh.
that, I'm like, why does this kid gotta like piss in the middle of the night so much? Like, just don't drink a lot or pee before you go to bed. It's typically how I do that. But whatever.
Typically.
Um,
He'll learn. He's 12. He's a serial killer in training. I think it's safe to say he's got some issues. Wetting the bed is the least of his problems.
I would agree with that. The other issue I have is Glenn, little Stephen Dorff's sister, Al,
Ow.
or Alexandra. Her friends are just really shitty people. And I'll let you talk about this because I know that you have an issue with the treatment of the dog post-mortem. But from the treatment of the dog after it dies to at the end of the movie, well, towards the end of the movie when like they think they closed the gate and
Yeah.
the chicks are scared, they got garlic around their neck because that's funny. And the girls had invited the boys over, so that's a cheap jump scare out of the closet. And then they're like, dude, everything's fine. You close the gate to hell. Let's party. And then they get mad at Al because she's like, yeah, no, I'm good because you guys are pieces of shit. Like, she finally realizes then that they're pieces of shit. I'm like, no, they've been pieces of shit this whole time. From the rager you threw earlier in the movie till now, they've just been like just giant assholes to you, your brother, his friend. Like, I get it, his friend's a psycho, but you know, you don't got to be mean to the kid.
Well, no, he's still a kid.
Exactly.
I mean, who do you think the first person he's actually going to kill is going to be? Use your head, dumbass.
Exactly.
Speaking about the Ranger, before I get into the dog, because yes, there are multiple things wrong with the dog, which just watch the movie. You'll understand what I'm saying, because they just throw this dog around when it's dead like it's nothing, and nobody cares. But beyond that, you brought up the party. So little Stephen Dorff and Al's parents go out of town.
Yes.
And of course, their last words are, "Don't have a party."
Cut
So
scene. Cut
last
scene.
Yep. Party's going on. Everybody's dancing and drinking and all this shit's getting broke everywhere. 2 scenes later, they're all sitting around a circle. This is a high school party. They're all sitting around a circle with candles lit, telling ghost stories. And out of nowhere, Sabrina the Teenage Witch comes in, who is, even by 80 standards, the dorkiest girl at this party. And she just takes over. Like, hey, let's levitate people. I know witch stuff. Where the fuck did these kids go to school?
Who invited Stevie Nicks to the party? What the fuck?
Because that's what, I mean, seriously, what the fuck is going on? And then they levitate little Stephen Dorff, because they're playing light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Yeah.
We used to play, it used to be called light as a feather, stiff as a quarry when I played it. I had my own problems, okay?
We know.
It's under control. But so they levitate little Stephen Dorff. And then Glenda, the good witch, is like, guess we shouldn't have tried that.
Everybody
Like,
just
Christ.
everybody just passes it off as like whatever. The fucking kid levitated, flew through the air, hit the light, broke the shit, fell to the ground, I don't know, 15 feet? Like,
yeah, at least.
A
He's up
15
on the roof.
a 15-foot fall right now would break my hip, okay?
Oh, you think?
Like, you got a kid who's like 10 who fucking drops from the ceiling 15 feet to the ground
on his back,
and everybody just like makes fun of him, and he's like, "Screw you guys!" And
the next day, they're all at breakfast because I guess some people just came back over for breakfast at Al's house.
Yeah,
and
as you do,
they're at breakfast, and little Stephen Dorff is still trying to get all of these teenagers to understand what's going on. He's like, "Dude, I fucking levitated last night. Can we talk about it?"
I opened the gate to hell.
Yeah. And this one guy that's hanging out with these two girls and Al says, "It was an illusion, stupid." You were participating in the illusion.
Yeah, because
was fucking David Copperfield there? Was Chris Angel mind freaking all over the party?
You beat me to the joke. That was my first like thought when he said that. It's just an illusion. I'm like, yeah, because David Copperfield as a teenager just all of a sudden decided to show up, and yeah, watch this, guys.
Which brings me to my next point, which is David Copperfield may show up to teenagers' parties.
Yeah,
that could happen.
He is creepy.
But I don't remember in an 80s movie, 70s, 90s, whatever, the protagonist in a movie so liberally using gay slurs to win clapback contests.
It was the 80s. It was the 80s.
Yeah, but again, I don't remember a protagonist in a movie.
Yes.
Just like, I'm going to win this argument by dropping an F on you. Like, whoa, dude. That's...
Yeah.
And because it's the 80s, you know it's the gay slur version and not like the way people are trying to incorporate it now. It's like, he was trying to insult him.
Yes.
And it was just, and he does it multiple times where it's just like, my God, kid, come up with a new insult or you really hate gay people.
No, he either went to the gay slur or just said like, bite my ass. Like those were his only two comebacks. Like he bought a book of comebacks and it only had 2 pages.
It was 2 pages. Well, 4 if you include the pictures.
But yeah, that was dumb. The whole dog thing, taking it to the animal control, that's closed, so he takes it back to the house.
Yeah, the same guy that said it was an illusion is dropping one-liners on the dog.
Yeah,
who's
he is.
Dead in his passenger seat.
Yeah. And then takes it, throws it down the hole in the backyard. And I will say this, fills the hole and lays the sod beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing ever happened. Like it was just, but then puts the wood back down over it. Like, I'm just going to leave this here. Like this was just here. Like, dude,
he covers it so perfectly, he rolls grass back over it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He lays down the sod that...
It's insane.
But yeah, so that's dumb. I mean, you get to the end of the movie, and the end of the movie, you have the big claymation demon that comes out of the ground, which is terrible. Puts an eye on little Stephen Dorff's hand for no reason to spy on him. Maybe that was just like the director's, commentary on the government. I don't know.
I think this director's next film was 8mm because he just likes kids and snuff films.
And then you have the zombies, or the zombie, the one guy that apparently got buried in the wall of their house that nobody believes, coming out. That was a better movie. If the movie was Zombie Gate or The Gate, and it was zombies coming out of the gates of hell to, take the kids down into the gates of hell, that's a great movie. The whole, once the director saw the video of the claymation, he should have been like, ooh, guys, we got a problem here.
They needed to stop production.
The little trolls look like shit. The big demon looks like shit. All great
Just go to
ideas. All great ideas, but we're gonna go with the zombies on this one.
anything. I mean, for God's sakes, in Alien and Aliens, I think they had people in suits.
Yeah.
And that was made before this, so just put some guys in some suits.
Yeah,
Put
something.
little people in some suits if you really want the demons to be small, but you got to do something.
Yeah.
Because
No.
they just did not play, and it took. I mean, rule almost one in the horror movie genre is your monster has to be worth the payoff.
Absolutely.
Whether it's Hannibal Lecter as a real person, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, whatever, they have to be worth the payoff. And these guys, just even as a 10-year-old, are not scary.
Yep.
At all.
No, you're absolutely right. But
when your main antagonist being the giant demon that comes out in the last 10 minutes of the movie or whatever, and literally does nothing, just stares at they stare at each other.
Yeah, he goes
minutes.
ah,
yeah,
and then he grabs him, and then he puts a eyeball in his hand, and then goes ah, and then throws him, and then he disappears, and then he comes back later, and he's like, no rockets, whatever,
yeah,
sure.
It feels like that scene should have been like they had Jim Henson to work the puppet, and he got sick or something and called off that day. And then like Rodrigo, the dude selling oranges on the side of the freeway, came in and was like, I'll do it. And that's just very basic bitch puppeteer.
I mean, they should have just had a costume and a guy in the costume. It would have looked better. But whatever, that's just me. But the very end of the movie is little Stephen Dorff kills the demon, for the main demon from hell that these little, I don't know, the little puppies are, praising as it comes out of hell and out of the floor, this giant demon, and he kills with a toy rocket because what was the rule? You have to kill it with something with love.
Love and light. Love and light is what was necessary to kill it. So if I have to kill a monster demon that comes out of the gate in my backyard, I have to throw a flashlight in my PlayStation 4 because that's really what I love.
Well, and because he used the gift that he bought for his sister that indicated the love.
Yes. The Thunderbolt or
whatever the hell the rocket was called.
Gigantic rocket was supposed to be.
Which I was going to ask this. He got in trouble and they hid the rocket because he had fired it off before, correct?
Yeah,
and
they told him they got rid of it. He almost burned off like a side of the house.
Yeah. So I have a question, because when he fires this rocket off into said demon, a fireworks display goes off, right?
Yes.
If he had almost set the house on fire, the gutter or whatever, and fired this rocket off before, there wouldn't be a rocket to fire off because the thing explodes into like this fireworks display. Better than any local fireworks display on the 4th of July I've ever seen, by the way.
It's magnificent.
So
I stood up and saluted. I'd never served one day in my life, but I felt like I had to salute that shit. It was very patriotic.
But that's what confused me. I'm like, well, fuck, if he's fired off this rocket before, it would have gone off. There wouldn't have been another rocket to fire off. Like, does it just, the top open up and it just shoots out and then closes and comes back down? Like, that technology wasn't there in 87. Just throwing that out there.
I want somebody who's not listening but is watching very intently to see you do this and then this multiple times and then put it all back down in your lap. Easily one of the greatest clips to take out of context ever.
There you go. And I'm sure it will.
Oh, yeah. Like, by me tonight.
But that's all I got. And then the ending is basically the inside of the house, just smoke billowing out. You have Psycho Terry. You have Al.
He comes back. She comes back to life.
Yep. They come out of the closet from where literally, not Yeah.
Metaphorically.
They come out of the closet from where they were, kidnapped by the zombie. And then Glenn, little Stephen Dorff, sit on the front stoop, smoke billowing out of the house, and they make some sort of joke about...
You think they'll notice?
Yeah, the parents coming home. And then, the dog comes back to life, too. I know you like that.
Yes. No, I didn't. I didn't like that anybody came back to life. This is a horror movie, son.
They should have all been dead. Yeah, it was a super happy ending.
Fire, you get burnt. They learned nothing. They're just going to go and open gates all over town when they're bored. And then just be like, fuck it, let's kill these guys.
We'll come back. It's cool.
Yeah, we're good.
But then the dog, cutscene, the dog goes and finds Terry's sneaker that he lost in the gate.
Yep.
Even though the ground is covered, like everything's closed, but cool, whatever. And then credits roll. This movie overall was one of the movies in general. Like, I to watch a horror movie, you have to sometimes suspend, disbelief for an hour and a half or 2 hours. And that's the fun of a horror movie, and the jump scares and just being scared in general. A, I was not scared. B, I was bored the entire time. And C, I found myself wanting to choke the shit out of every kid in this movie.
Yes.
So those are my final thoughts.
And that was the most realistic part of the movie for me, is all these little kids were assholes. And most teenagers and little kids are assholes.
So that was accurate.
Yeah, that was accurate. Very much so.
But yeah, so overall, I give this a 1 on my scale.
Yeah, I won't even put forth the energy to give it a thumbs down. I'm just moving on.
Does not
end the show. Wrap it up. Let's go.
All right.
Leg up.
By the way, IMDb 6.1.
Wow.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That is what only 0.3 points less than Jeepers Creepers.
Yes.
So they're basically in the same ballpark, according to IMDb viewers.
Yes. This is, by leaps and bounds, Jeepers Creepers is so much of a better movie than this.
Yeah.
I almost don't even want to talk about the IMDb scores ever again.
They've lost all credibility.
You can't say that Jeepers Creepers was, what, a 6.5 or 6.4? Mm-hmm. And The Gate is a 6.1. You can't make that. The gap between these two movies is so big, like Grand Canyon big, that it makes no sense. The IMDb scores lose all credibility to me. Amazon scores the star rating again because it's all customer reviews and whatever.
Yeah.
That lost any weight with me years ago, so I don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore. So yeah, I don't even want to look at these ratings anymore. I look at them now just to make me laugh.
I now sympathize with Thanos.
Why do you think I got this?
That's right. You've been snapping like a motherfucker.
I got these 3 fingers just so I can snap.
I love it.
But that's all I got. Do you have anything else for this movie?
I got nothing. Please, let's move on.
All right, we'll move on. Thank you guys for coming out. Like, subscribe, comment if there's another movie that you guys want us to cover or review. That's all I got. For Corey, I'm Armando. Thanks for watching Kiss the Reviews, and we'll see you in the next episode.